about irresistible force versus immovable object, we have that right here, reigning CAPW TV champion, Jason Bane, won that recently reinstated title last month, going one-on-one with 6'2", 270 of the War Machine Rhyno.
That's right, and the big man has the microphone.
You know, obviously ECW was a thing of my past, and now my future is TNA, so you can continue to start chanting TNA.
Damn right. I told you they were good people.
But you know, we're not in ECW, or we're not in TNA. We're right here in Cleveland, All Pro Wrestling. So CAPW. Okay, that's a little long. You can chant Cleveland All Pro or TNA. Now I didn't come out here to talk, but after listening to the drawing, I almost fell asleep. But I came here to kick his ass, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Well, Rhyno is determined as ever. We heard his comments on CAPW's online weekly news line. For all the news and views in CAPW, be sure to check out the weekly news line at capw.net. Rhyno stated that obviously the ECW world title thing of his past, ECW thing of his past, he burned those belts on national television. It's time for new gold and a new chapter in Rhyno's career.
That's right, Rhyno wants the Cleveland All Pro Wrestling television title, and he's chopping away at the champion right now.
Bane's about 6'6", 6'7", floating around that 300-plus pound mark. Rhyno about 6'2", 270, and Rhyno connects with a belly-to-belly.
Look at the power of the War Machine Rhyno, and he's setting him up, Joe Dombrowski.
Go for the core early, but Bane, too smart and too experienced, gets out of dodge quickly.
Bane wisely got out of town on that one, but wait a minute, Rhyno stalking him on the outside.
Look out. Rhyno and Bane start the slugfest on the outside of the ring, and Jason Bane eats the ringside security rail, and Rhyno in firm control.
Joe Dombrowski right here at our feet, these two men hooking it up.
Got Bane blocks it, and Bane sends Rhyno into the barrier.
Rhyno eats the steel courtesy of the champion, Jason Bane. This is a true test for Jason Bane, coming so early in his reign as television champion, having to hook it up with an international superstar the caliber of Rhyno.
That's right, it was just 4 weeks ago in this building when Jason Bane survived 33 other men in an unbelievable Russian roulette rumble to win the newly reinstated television champion, the official champion, to represent everyone watching on Sports Time Ohio. Rhyno tosses Bane back into the ring and begins to go to work. Of course, Rhyno, an expert in brawling, an expert in hardcore wrestling. If you can't win the title on the outside, you got to be in between the ropes.
That's right,
and look at the velocity Rhyno was sent into that buckle, sent him spiraling to the canvas.
Joe Dombrowski, Rhyno choosing to mix it up with Bane on the outside in the early goings. But I don't know if Rhyno is aware of the credentials of this man, Bane. He is a former unified champion, and I'll tell you what, drops a big knee. This guy will mix it up on the outside with anybody. You're playing into his hands going to the steel so early.
Near fall there by Bane, chewing a kick out. When is the last time you've seen Rhyno body slam?
I have Joe Dombrowski. I cannot answer that question, but I just saw him body slammed by Jason Bane, and I just almost saw him pinned by Jason Bane.
Wrestling fans, we got to take a break right now, cut to commercial, but we're going to be right back with the conclusion of this match only on Sports Time Ohio. Pro wrestling fans, thanks for staying tuned right here on Sports Time Ohio. We're back from commercial, and here we go with more action, Joe Dombrowski.
Rhyno to his feet, Bane as well, but Rhyno with a slight advantage here, able to recover first, but Bane buries the knee, and Rhyno right back down.
Jason Bane with a big knee lift. credentials of the War Machine.
Another near fall.
That would have been a great opportunity for Bane to hit the Bane line and just take the head of Rhyno right off.
Bane choking Rhyno now. And that second ring cable to his advantage.
Rhyno, when is the last time, Joe Dombrowski, you're always asking me these questions, I'm going to ask you, when's the last time you've seen Rhyno take this much abuse in a matchup?
I cannot remember Rhyno being dominated this much by conventional means.
The crowd here trying to get Rhyno back in the game, but the enormous champion now feeling the effects of the big right hands, courtesy of Rhyno.
Crowd coming alive for Rhyno, but Jason Bane just so dominant. You can see now why he outlasted 30 plus other men to win the television championship.
And not only outlast those 33 other men, well, 32 in Oprah, but Jason Bane was the first man entered in that battle royal, and he was the last man standing. Jason Bane, a true champion for Cleveland All-Pro Wrestling and Sports Time, Ohio.
And let's check out Rhyno a moment ago, not only on the receiving end of that chin lock, but also favoring his left leg. Will that become a factor and a main point in this matchup? That remains to be seen.
The War Machine now making his way back up to a vertical base. Oh, and he's just ripped right down by the hair, courtesy of Jason Bane.
Handful of hair certainly was an equalizer in this case as Rhyno attempted to get back to his feet. Did not work in this exchange, and Bane just continues to tower over Rhyno and dominate the match.
Jason Bane using his size advantage, and that is the best maneuver he could do in this matchup. And don't try to wrestle with the man. Jason Bane needs to club away at Rhyno. Set him up with some of those big, powerful suplexes of his.
Bane continues to keep Rhyno off his feet.
Jason Bane challenging Rhyno now to get back up and continue the fight.
Big back elbow. Cover two. And Bane has really proven something here. He is proving that as great as he's been, he's turning it up a few notches here now that he's television champion.
Jason Bane has to turn it up a few notches. Everybody in the back, waiting in the wings, they all want their shot. They all want to be title holders here at Cleveland All-Pro Wrestling. And now that we're on Sports Time Ohio, they want that Cleveland All-Pro Wrestling Sports Time Ohio television title belt. Jason Bane says it's not going to happen.
And certainly Rhyno wants that title as well, despite being an active member of the TNA roster. That shows you how prestigious the TV champion is, that Rhyno would hold that belt in such high regard.
Rhyno, somewhat of a free agent out there, making his own rules. He wants to be a title holder here at Cleveland All-Pro Wrestling because he knows this is where the best wrestlers in the world come together. We don't play politics here in CAPW. It's every man for himself, and may the best man win.
Rhyno starting to rev himself back up once again, get that second burst of adrenaline. Fires back on Bane for the ride. Bane reverses. Huge shoulder tackle by the man beast. As now Rhyno, you can feel the tide turning in the favor of the War Machine, the former NWA World Champion. Charging with the shoulders thrust in the corner and a belly to belly to follow through.
Taking a page out of Bane's own book, setting him up with a big suplex. And look at him, he's lurking him.
Wait a second, Rhyno sets him up. Rhino's going for it. Gore Todd. Oh! Potter got gored.
Referee Bobby Williams, he's leveled. Bobby Potter is down.
Wait, a second referee, Bryce Rebsberg. Bane capitalized. Bane capitalized, and he just won the match.
Still CAPW